Alright guys, I just want to make a really quick video. I want to give my 2 cents regarding this QWK their latest AEG pistol type blaster, a Nerf blaster, obvious, a foam blaster, not a gel blaster. But yeah, I mean, I think there's no way around this because the moment I opened the box, I was really excited, but the moment I see it in flash, I'm like, no man, this is too much. This is just too much. Now, even if I imagine that this thing is the whole thing is brightly colored, doesn't matter, it's orange, yellow, whatever color. But the look of it, just take a close look at it. It is beautiful though, I have to say. It is beautiful. But just look at it, man. There is simply no way around it. How can you actually use this in public park? I mean, there's no way. I would not suggest that you actually show this anywhere in the public. I don't think so. This is this is suitable. I mean, this thing is completely different from their first product, which is the Mark 3, Challenger Mark 3. That one is fine because it does look pretty damn sci-fi-ish and no firearm looks that way. But look at this. This looks almost exactly like a real steel firearm. Like, what's it? I think it's a Zigsaw, Six Sauer, or however you read it, P320, that pistol with the Flux Rider kit. And this looks almost identical with that. I don't know, I feel pretty damn conflicted because on one hand, I am really excited about automated AEG, pistol AEG, but not when it looks like this, man. I mean, but yeah, that's about what I want to talk about, the exterior of it. But if you just look at it, it looks pretty damn good. Yeah, what it says here, 13mm times 38. Yeah, that's by QWK. And yeah, YEP-01 pretty damn, it looks damn good. From the engineering point of view, this thing is absolute beast. Unlike the Mark 3, this thing is actually a lot more simple. Instead of using a lot of electronics like a like a chipboard and control everything, this thing is really simple. It is battery operated, obviously. There's a motor located here. The gear train system is actually located here, and then there is a magnetic sensors here that tells the motor when to work, when the slide or the plunger tube is actually working, and that is how the system actually control the slide movement. But yeah, enough of that. Let me just show you how this thing actually works. So this is where your battery goes. As I mentioned before, they uses this type of battery, modular battery. Basically, there's a LiPo battery in there. But yeah, so it will not work with your regular battery. And this is the original short battery. I think 350 milliamp per hour. It's really small, very small capacity. So this is the extended one, which has a 1100 mAh battery within. So let me just show you quickly. Right, so the battery goes in like so. It will click in nicely, and then the edge would look something like this, right? So as I mentioned, there is not a whole lot of electronics within there. So to use this thing is actually quite interesting. You actually have to manually rack the blaster to prepare it before you can actually do anything. That is because the trigger is pure mechanical. There's no electronic things going on with it. So unless you prime the blaster manually for the first time, even you have the battery in, it will not do anything because the blaster is almost mechanical. So for example, right, if I remove the battery and I rack the slide, which is can be quite tough because you are basically priming the spring manually. So once the plunger tube or the piston is catched by the system, now the slide can be racked easily. Now here's what interesting. You can actually use this blaster without a battery by manually racking the blaster. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah. So even without the battery, you can actually still use this blaster. But yeah, I digress. But right, let's put the battery, charge it on, and then now the battery is primed, and with the battery in, it is ready to use. Right. So let me just show you this really cool one of the more prominent feature on the edge, which is this flux design spring-loaded brace or bracer or bus stock, however I call it. But this is the lever to actually activate it or to deploy it. It's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, I know this sometimes it doesn't actually pops up easily, but it takes quite a bit of strength to actually, yeah. But yeah, this thing is pretty cool, but I much prefer to use it without this thing actually. So let me just keep it. Right, so to retract it, simply just push it back. Though I do notice that sometimes this thing actually can get stuck, so you have to like wiggle it a bit so that you can actually retract it fully. Yeah, not really perfect, but it works, I suppose. Right, so I have the magazine here. If you have followed the news so far, you will know that it has proprietary magazine. So yeah, even if you have the Mark III, it will not work with the Mark III magazine. So yeah, more proprietary magazine. But this magazine is actually pretty cool. You can see this flap here. This works pretty similar like the Dartzone Pro Mark II, I believe. Yeah, the pistol type, where you have this flap on the internal magazine that actually keeps the darts down. And when the plunger tube or the breech moves forward, it will push the darts, fit it, and then pushes these two flap away. And then this solves the problem commonly found in the Mark III, where the darts will actually just pops up by itself. So this spring-loaded flap is actually pretty cool. I personally I like this feature. I mean, it makes the blaster much more easier to carry. And when you have this magazine, you want to stuff it into your mag pouch, this works pretty damn well. But yeah, right, let me just show you quickly. So this is the magazine. You insert it, right? And then this is the magazine release button, right? Pretty cool, right? And to fire this thing, because we just insert the magazine and the chamber is now empty. And yeah, this mechanism is pretty cool. You can see slowly, yeah, there. That is the dart stopper that is actually working actively. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think the system is actually really well designed, works really well. Right, so with the magazine in, let's rack the slide. Right, you can see the darts there. Right, release the slide and the dart is chambered and then it's now ready to go. Now, similar to the Mark III, there is no kill switch. There's no on-off button. Quite a turn off actually, but yeah, it is what it is. So once you have the blaster ready, round is chambered, and then you can just go pew. And I have to say, this thing works really, really damn well. I mean, my goodness, just have a look at it, how snappy it is. Yeah, the trigger is instant. Right, so when the magazine is empty, as you can tell now, I mean, the slide is locked back. Right, the magazine is empty, the slide is locked back. How it works is pretty much like a real steel. You have your slide, either you can call it a slide catch or a slide release. So when the magazine is empty, the follower will push this slide lock upwards, and then that will lock the slide. So now I have a second magazine here, but there is two ways to actually proceed to release the slide. One of it is actually power stroking, which is my favorite, where you just insert a magazine and then you simply just pull the slide backward and release it. That will actually chamber the darts, right? The more common way is, well, obviously by pushing this slide release downwards, right? That does the same thing, but I personally prefer the power stroke, right? It just feels much better. So let me just show you, since I have the magazine here loaded, and I'm using really warm darts, and I fired off no less than 10 of this, and so far I have only 2 gems because I'm using really warm darts, not even joking. This dart I really want. So yeah, right, so with the magazine in, you can see the darts there, right? So I'm going to power stroke, right, and that will actually chamber, yeah, the darts, and I'm ready to go again. Right, so let's just, yeah, this thing works really damn well. Damn, I really love this, but I can't really get over how realistic this thing looks. I mean, just look at it. God damn it. What a bummer. Oh yeah, on the safety side, you can see this extremely creepily long trigger, right? So the safety is much like found in, you know, like pistol, like the Glock, you know, where it has safety embedded into the trigger itself. You have to first push this safety in, and then only that the blaster will fire, right? So, oh yeah, when the slide is locked backwards, you will not be able to fire the blaster. So yeah, quite obvious, but yeah, right. So yeah, that's about it. I really want to love this thing, but given on how realistic it looks, I just can't recommend this as a friendly AEG blaster. It is way worse than the Mark III, man. But yeah, it is what it is, and I'm really glad QWK came out with this product, which is really awesome. Now, I'm just going to bug the boss of QWK, and hopefully they make a reskin of this thing in a much more friendly, with a much more friendly exterior. Right, so thank you so much for watching. I will make a proper review of this thing, and oh man, it's already 12 minutes. So much for a quick video. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next video.